Hello students, let us start our new session with the new example. A circular coil of radius 10 cm, 500 turns and resistance 2 ohm is placed with its plane perpendicular to the horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field. It is rotated about its vertical diameter through 180 degree in 0.25 seconds. Estimate the magnitudes of EMF and current induced in the coil. Horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field at the place is 3 into 10 raised to minus 5 Tesla. See, initial flux, that is flux equation B cos theta. Initial flux we have, that is 3 into 10 raised to minus 5 Tesla. Area is available, that is pi into 10 raised to minus 2. That is a radius of 100 centimeter. So that is pi into 10 raised to minus 2. And initially the angle is 0. So cos 0. Cos 0 is 1. So that is a 3 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 Weber. Now, as after the rotation, it is reached to the 180 degree after 0.25 seconds. So final flux is B, that is a 3 into 10 raised to minus 5. A is pi into 10 raised to minus 2 and cos 180. Cos 180 is minus 1. So the resultant one is minus 3 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 Weber. So epsilon is n d phi by dt. Instead of that, n delta phi by delta t. So number of turns are 500. Initial phi b minus final phi b. So 3 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 minus plus 3 pi into 10 raised to minus 7. So that would be 6 pi into 10 raised to minus 7 and time is 0.25. So the resultant value is 3.8 into 10 raised to minus 3 volt. So current is epsilon by R. Epsilon is 3.8 into 10 raised to minus 3 volt we have derived. Resistance is given, that is 2 ohm. So my current value will become 1.9 into 10 raised to minus 3 ampere. Now the next topic is Lenz law and conservation of energy. Here the statement of the law is that polarity of induced EMF is such that it tends to produce a current which opposes the change in a magnetic flux that produced it. Generally, whatever the current is generated, that the generated current always opposes the magnetic flux. And as the opposition is available, based on that polarity of EMF and polarity of generated current will be decided. So initially in first experiment, we kept north pole towards the coil and we are pushing that bar magnet towards the coil. In that particular case, whatever the magnetic flux is generated and generated current will oppose that magnetic flux. To get that opposition factor, whatever the current is generated, that current is counterclockwise direction. Now, if we are pulling that bar away from the coil C1, so the deflection is in opposite direction. To get this opposition, the current is in the clockwise direction. If we perform the same experiment with the south pole towards the coil, so we can get the deflection, but current direction is in opposite direction. If south pole is pushing towards the coil, that current direction is clockwise, and if south pole is pulling away from the coil, then current direction is in anticlockwise. So this is how the magnetic flux and induced EMF sign is related based on their opposite factor. If opposite factor is there, it means that there is a repulsion force is available. So here in diagrams, as you can observe, whatever we have discussed, if north pole is pushing towards the coil, then current is in the counterclockwise direction, and north pole pulling away from the coil, then current is in clockwise direction. That we can observe it very easily. If the coil is open, till now we have done this experiment by having the closed circuit. But if closed circuit is not there, then also EMF is generated. It means a potential, that voltage is generated. But yes, electric current won't flow through it, because current only can flow through it when closed circuit is there. So in open circuit, EMF would be present, but electric current is not available till we won't close it. If south pole, due to the induced current, will face the approaching north pole magnet, then opposite current will be generated. If attraction force is available, then what will happen? No need to give a mechanical force to push the magnet towards the coil. If current is not in the opposite direction, if current won't oppose the magnetic flux, then what will happen? Based on the same direction of the current, attraction force is generated between the bar magnet and the coil. So magnet will be attracted towards the coil. Due to the attraction force, no need to give the external force or mechanical force. If it won't require any force energy, and even though the result is generated, so we can say that from where this EMF can be produced, from where that particular energy is generated. This won't happen. Energy won't produce, won't destroy. That is, can convert. So we can say that here energy law of conservation cannot obey, which is not possible, because if one energy is available, that transferred to another type of energy, but if not force or energy is there, so suddenly any energy won't be produced. So here we can say that whatever the statement is given from the Lenz's law, that generated EMF is always oppose the magnetic flux, so it requires to give an external force, and whatever the force we are providing, that energy will be converted to generate that EMF. So here we need to do a work, and that work energy is converted into the EMF, and the energy is dissipated by Joule heating produced by the induced current. Based on that, one more example. In diagram shows a planar loops of different shapes moving out of or into a region of magnetic field, which is directed normal to the plane of the loop away from the reader. Determine the direction of induced current in each loop using Lenz's law. Observe the first loop rectangle, in which that loop is coming inward to the magnetic field. So here we can say that a magnetic flux is increases in the direction of A, B, C, D, A. So here the flux is A, B, C, D, A direction. So my generated current is in the opposite direction. So it can be a B, C, D, A, B form. Here, whatever the magnetic flux and the current is generated, we are supposed to give is in the opposite direction. So that is coming inward side. So my current is in the counterclockwise direction, that is a B, C, D, A direction. Second loop, the triangle one, in which it is moving out from the magnetic field region. So we can say that current is flowing in clockwise direction. So my current direction is available, that is B, A, C, B. Third loop, that is irregular shape, that is also moving away from the magnetic field. It is coming out from the field. So again over here we can say that magnetic field and the current direction is opposite. Magnetic flux and current direction is opposite, and current is in the clockwise direction. So my current is flowing in the direction A, B, C, D, A, or C, D, A, B, C. Ultimately, while the loop is moving out from the magnetic field, so we can say that current is flowing in clockwise direction because magnetic flux is reduced, so my current value is increases. So that moving in clockwise direction, and while the loop is coming in the magnetic field, so that oppose the magnetic flux and the current is generated in counterclockwise direction. Another example, a closed loop is held stationary in the magnetic field between the north and south poles of two permanent magnets held fixed. Can we hope to generate a current in the loop by using a very strong magnets? No. Stationary magnetic field cannot generate a current while the magnets are moving of that magnetic field generates a magnetic flux. Rate of change of magnetic flux can generate EMF. So stationary magnets cannot generate electric current. Second, a closed loop moves normal to the constant electric field between the plates of a large capacitor. Is a current induced in the loop? First case, when it is wholly inside the region between the capacitor plates. Second, when it is partially outside the plates of the capacitor, the electric field is normal to the plane of the loop. See, here it gives the capacitor condition which generates the electric field. And as we know, electric field cannot produce a current. It means in any of the case, current cannot generate. Magnetic field generates a magnetic flux, and changing the flux gives you the current. Electric field cannot generate a current. So in any of the case, current won't induced. Third case, a rectangle loop and a circular loop are moving out of the magnetic field region as observed in the figure 6.8 to a field-free region with a constant velocity v. In which loop do you expect the induced EMF to be constant during the passage out of the field region? Field is normal to the loops. Obviously, flux depends on the magnetic field, area and angle between these two. So we can say that magnetic field is directly depends on the area. Rectangle area gives you the constant area phase, and circular in which amount of area is going to be changed at each point. So we can say that we can expect a uniform magnetic field in a rectangular loop. Now fourth one is predict the polarity of capacitor current situated in 6.9. See, in 6.9, one capacitor with the plate A and B is given with the closed path. Two bars are shown. One is north-south towards the loop and south-north again towards the loop in opposite direction. So we can observe the diagram in which second bar magnet, in which south pole of the magnet is nearer to the capacitor. It means we can say that it would be a more stronger, and based on that my current is generated in clockwise direction So current is passing through the A to B, and we know that entering sign of the plate, current entering sign of the plate gives you the positive sign, and leaving current plate gives you the negative sign. It means A plate is a positive, B plate is negative. The same explanation is defined over here, which we have discussed. Next is motional electromotive force. Here we have considered a straight conductor in which only one rod is moving, which is a time, and a magnetic field is a time independent. PQ rod is moving and RS side is a stationary. Rod is moving towards the RS with constant velocity V. RS having the length L, and the distance between R and Q defined as an X. Now, as phi magnetic flux is B into A is L into X. So my phi B is BLX. While we are changing the position of the PQ, means we can say that magnetic field and the magnetic flux inside of that rectangle portion is going to be changed. So my EMF would be generated. That EMF is minus d phi by dt. So we can say that minus BLX by dt. B magnetic field and L RS, that is fixed. X is going to be vary as PQ is moving towards the RS. So that would be minus BL dx by dt. X gives you the position. So dx by dt would be the V, that is a velocity. So my equation becomes epsilon equals to minus BLV, that is a motional EMF. V gives you the velocity of the rod PQ. So here we can say that we able to produce EMF by moving a conductor instead of the magnetic field. Here we kept a magnetic field constant, just we are moving the rod. By moving that rod or the conductor and keeping the magnetic field fixed, also here EMF can be generated. So it is also possible to explain the motional EMF expressed by the equation BLV based on the Lorentz force. Lorentz force acting on a free charge carriers of conductor PQ. Consider a charge Q on the conductor PQ. While a rod is moving with the constant speed, the charge is going to move with the same speed in the magnetic field. Based on the Lorentz law, and the charge is moving from P to Q based on the QVB. So based on the Lorentz law and the right hand rule, my charge position moving is from P to Q. So as the work done by the charge to move from P to Q, that would be QVBL, because force is given by QVB. Q is on the charge, V is the velocity, and B is the fixed magnetic field. So work done is QVB within the length of the rod L. So the EMF is work done by Q. W by Q is BLV. So in both the cases, we are able to get the same motional EMF equation PLV. But here it does help us to understand the basic Faraday's law when conductor is moving in a uniform and time independent magnetic field. In another case, it is not obvious that how an EMF is induced when a conductor is stationary and the magnetic field is changing. If we are keeping that when a conductor PQ rod is not moving and we are changing the magnetic field. So for that, what we are, the total force is Q into E, and that electric field force and magnetic field force Q V cross B. But what we are defining that magnetic field is changing, B is changing, right? So my total stationary force is Q into E. And therefore, to explain the existence induced EMF or current, we are assuming time varying magnetic field which generates an electric field. Because what we are saying that V is 0. Rod is stationary, means it is not moving. So my velocity portion V is 0. So V cross B, we cannot get the result. So my force equation is only QE, which gives us electric force only. Right? So here based on that, we can say that we need to assume that time varying electric field. So here we have to add the electric field produced by the static charge from produced by time varying magnetic field. So we can say that charges in motion also can give you a force or torque on a stationary magnet. So when a bar magnet is in motion, can generate a force on the stationary charge. When bar magnet is in motion, can generate a force on the stationary charge. Right? So in both the case, we can say that vice versa, while the electric field is varying, rod is fixed. Based on that, EMF can produced. And another way, we can say that moment of the bar magnet can also give you the force on the charge and it can generate E current. So here, in both the case, electrism and magnetism can be related to each other. Here, we are going to end this session. Hope you understood. Thank you.